So I want to share this with you real quick. This is using Bootstrap to create a gallery website. So if you're finishing up your gallery websites and you want to find a really quick and easy way to do it, and you can learn about Bootstrap at the same time, plus you can create something that's responsive, meaning the size of the page will change the content on that page so it will be readable on the device being used. So for example, I created this website called Picasso World. I got some placeholders here. These placeholders are images brought in by a website called placeholder.com, and I'll talk more about that, but it's just for placement only, FPO. You got titles down here, you got explanations, captions basically for the images. When I take this page and I make it smaller, everything stacks up. So that's the responsive part of this. It basically is taking my content and making it work on a narrow device like a phone. And it's doing that using a concept called a breakpoint. So there's a grid in Bootstrap that has 5 different breakpoints, and those breakpoints are set for different standard devices. So the breakpoint for this gallery is set here. If you look at the code, right here under if you look here, so first off, the gallery is being created using a Bootstrap style called container, which is important because that kind of gives everything a margin. It makes everything nice and neat. And then these 3 images are in a row. So row is the child of container. And then inside of that, you have your div that holds the image, and that has a class of col-sm. So that's identifying a breakpoint. And the breakpoints are listed in the unit. So that's a breakpoint of small, which is basically going to identify something that's a phone, like an iPhone. So when you're looking at this on an iPhone, it will know, and then everything will be top to bottom instead of left to right. Now inside of this, I have cards. So each one of these columns here is basically a card, and that's using a Bootstrap component. And then inside the cards, I'm pointing to this website called placeholder.com. And what this is doing, it's pointing to a specific image where it's 150 pixels in width. So placeholder.com is pretty cool. It's a great website. Placeholder.com is where to go. And basically what you do is you just point to these different URLs, and if you add a number after the slash, that's going to be the width of the image. So it's a great way to prototype a website. You don't know what images go on the website yet? Well, point to one of these URLs on placeholder.com. So that's kind of a side note. And oops, extra stuff. So let me take you back to how this works and how you can build it using Bootstrap. So I'm basically going to get rid of everything but the Jumbotron. And if you watch my previous video, you know how to create a Jumbotron. So I'm going to keep the Jumbotron. That's this part up here where it says welcome to Picasso World. Let's say my gallery is focused on Picasso. So I'm going to get rid of everything but that. And I know what to get rid of because the gallery part is inside this container. So I'm going to delete that, and I have an extra div. I'm going to delete that. Hit save. So now I only have the Jumbotron. This is kind of taking off where the last video was at in terms of creating this. So I have my Bootstrap CDNs here, one in the head tag. These are the links pointing to the code needed for Bootstrap, and then one script down below. These are the links that I got from bootstrapcdn.com. And now I'm going to create the actual web page here using Bootstrap. So I'm just going to go to getbootstrap.com. I'm going to go under documentation, and then under documentation here, I'm going to go to layout, and I'm going to go to grid. Grid kind of has the information that you need to create columns for your gallery, and it goes into some detail about the breakpoints. So you see column small, column MD, column large, extra large. Those are different breakpoints. You can cut and paste this default one, and then you can experiment with the different breakpoints by changing SM, which stands for small, with another breakpoint abbreviation such as MD, LG, or XL if you want to. And here's the code. So it's you got your container, you got a row, so it's just for one row, and you have 3 columns because I have 3 divs with a class of COL, which stands for column, and then you have that dash, and SM is the abbreviation for the breakpoint. So I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to throw it right into my code. It's going underneath the div for the Jumbotron, so I'm going to paste it, hit save. Let's have a look. So by default, it says 1 of 3 columns here. So that's the default text that's already set up in that example. Now I want to create my actual gallery images with the captions, and that's going to be another component. So I'm going to go back into components on the Bootstrap site, and those sections are cards. So that's the Bootstrap term for part of this layout, the actual gallery part. So I'm going to copy this. This is a card. I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to replace where it says 1 of 3 columns with this code. I'm just going to go to each one. So that's 1 gallery image or 1 card in Bootstrap language. I'm going to replace this other one here, and I'm going to add 1 more here. Hit save. Now we look at that and we have these cards set. So those are where your images can go. So the images go where it says, I'll start with the first one where it says image source. So you're already used to the image source tag. So your image is going to go in here. So you're going to replace those 3 dots with the location of your image. So this is where I'm going to use placeholder.com. So I'm just using this as a means to add something temporary so I don't have a broken image link. And I'll use the 150 pixel one. So I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to replace these 3 dots here with that placeholder.com code, and I think yes, I copied too much, so it just needs to have this via placeholder.com/150. Looks like it copied some additional stuff in there that I don't need, so I'm gonna get rid of that. Hit save. See how it says 150 by 150? Well, I have a placeholder there for basically a 150 by 150 pixel image. You can play with the width, so you can play with the width here, and you can actually play with that width to increase these card widths if you want to, depending on your image size. So I'm gonna go into the next image source for the next card. I'm gonna add 1 down there, and then it's adding all. I'm gonna get rid of this extra stuff again. I don't want all this extra stuff. Say, and I just want to, for now I'm just copying via placeholder.com/150. So I'm going to go down below here, and there you go. So this is a quick way to finish your gallery. You know, it gives you basically a gallery layout. If you copy, if you have, like, let's say additional gallery rows, let's say it's 2 rows, you can go ahead and underneath your container, just copy all this row information, paste it again, and you'll have another row. Or you can add another column by copying the div column here, so you have, let's say, 4 columns going across. So basically, once you get the code in there, though, it's just some cutting and pasting. And not only do you have a gallery site that's quick, and remember, you change your titles to reflect the gallery image, change your captions to give some information about what that gallery image is. These links, you can delete them. So these are just these buttons down here. So you just need to delete the href that contains the button. If you don't have a link, that's fine. Most people won't. And the other thing that's great about this is not only is it a gallery site, but it's a responsive gallery site too. So this is a quick way to make your site responsive. So anyways, I highly recommend looking into this as a means to finishing the galleries. It's going to make it super easy. As long as you have your images set and you know what to do, give Bootstrap a shot. It will just allow you to finish this project. So that's it.